Welcome to the AI Automations for Business podcast. We're your hosts, Katie and Noel, and we'll be discussing how you can use AI for your business along with the latest news, updates, and automations to help you stay ahead of the curve, allowing you to grow and scale your business more efficiently. Please be sure to subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hi, hello, welcome back to another episode. Hi, hello, I'm Katie, and as always, I've got Noel here with me. Hi, Noel, how are you doing?
Hello, yeah, I'm doing great, thanks.
Good. So, I'm quite excited about what we're talking about today. I feel like this is just going to be such a game changer for business owners.
Yeah.
And I even want to say the users. So today we are talking about ChatGPT ads, and we're going to be talking also a little bit about what's going on with OpenAI as well, aren't we?
Yes, yeah. I was really excited when I saw ads. I've never been so excited to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably not going to be the collective, reaction from everyone. I think only a percentage of people are going to be like, oh my god, ChatGPT ads, amazing.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of people going, no, I don't want ads. No, don't do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does make a bit of sense.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about like what this means for business owners, what it means for users. And yeah, obviously we'll be talking a little bit about what is happening right now with OpenAI. So where would you like to start, Noel?
I guess let's just jump straight into the ads. Let's talk about what they announced. I guess it's 2 weeks ago now when they announced it. But yeah, some of us.
So no messing around. Like we're literally a minute into the podcast episode, and you're like, let's just go for it.
Yeah, jump straight in. Yeah,
no
go
messing
crazy
around. No.
I know. Yeah, well, I was excited to see it. Saw the opportunity.
Yeah, he's excited to talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, go for it, Noel. Jump in, because I can't hold you back any longer.
Very true. So with ChatGPT ads, they're going to now be showing, or will soon be showing, shall I say, advertisements to anybody who is on a free plan or is on the brand new Go plan, which I think is like $8 a month. So they've added in that lower tier to make things a little bit cheaper for people, which is great. But there's a lot of people, and I couldn't believe it when I looked this up. They've got like 800 million users active per week, and there's it's silly. Yeah, there's so many hundreds of millions of people using ChatGPT every single week, and there's like 4, maybe 5% are actually paid users. So they're on the plus plan upwards, to pro, enterprise, business, or whatever. So there's not actually that many people paying for ChatGPT, and that's kind of where my business brain clicked in, and I was like, "Oh, hold on a minute." Where you'll be serving ads to hundreds of millions of users potentially every single day, which is good for a business, but from a user perspective, I get why people don't want to see ads. They see ads everywhere. They're quite sick of them.
Yeah.
And I get that.
I mean, Meta have just now come out with, so if you log into like Facebook or Instagram over the last few days, you'll now get a prompt that pops up to say, do you want to continue using Meta? Well, if you do, you've now got to either choose the free version, which you have ads, or there's now a paid version. I think it was something like $3.99 that's pounds, to use it without ads, and I think that was
Ah,
a monthly fee.
oh
So
wow.
really interesting, like that they've gone down that route as well.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have to when you look at it. So to touch on kind of like the business of why ads would come along, because we're sat there using ChatGPT, having a great time, getting whatever you need. That's great. You don't want to then be ad all the way down. It's like, that's not really adding to the user experience. But at the same time, OpenAI don't actually have that many revenue streams to, create this technology and host it.
No,
They've got that 5% of people that pay for ChatGPT. You've got, I guess, the API for people using that, the developers and stuff. I'm sure they make a fair chunk of cash from that bit. And then the
yeah,
other bit is kind of investors. So other than that, right now, there's not really a great deal where they're bringing in income. And I think ads is going to be a great way in order for them to, get more money in and then keep progressing in the future.
yeah. I
So,
really didn't realize that so many people were on a free plan,
yeah.
especially like to be honest, I thought most business owners must be on a paid plan. So yeah, when you
Mm.
told me those numbers, I was, yeah, quite shocked
Yeah,
at that.
yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
But I suppose if the free plan, is good enough, you might not use it all day, every day. You're happy with the models that they provide, then why would you? I guess
yeah, yeah.
you don't want to use projects. You're not interested in coding. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and I guess like I've seen people who don't have a business, don't run a business. I've seen them use like ChatGPT for like doing an advert for like a car that they're selling.
Mm,
Um, yeah, which is actually, yeah, quite hilarious. Um, or like people use it to draft emails to companies and things like that.
mm,
So yeah, it's really interesting. And I guess for them, they obviously, of course, they don't need a paid version. Why would
mm.
they? So yeah, just
Exactly. Yeah.
a free version would be absolutely fine. But
Yeah.
really,
Absolutely.
really interesting. So do you want to tell us a bit more about like what the ads are going to consist of and how
Mm.
they're going to function within ChatGPT? Because at the moment, like I don't know if anyone's thinking like how I'm thinking. They're thinking like 90s internet where you've got all those like really annoying ads, like
Pop
just
ups.
yeah, just like on that page. And, yeah, it's really random. So yeah, obviously I know OpenAI are not gonna like deliver that sort of interface, but
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
They've made it quite clear and said, well, we're not just going to throw stuff at you, with everything or throw you ads that make no sense with the context of what you're talking about. So the way it's kind of going to work, I guess, to put it into like a use case, let's say we were looking to buy a new TV. You
mhm,
would go to ChatGPT and then say, well, look, could you do like a search? Find me, I'm looking for this brand, this sort of size TV, what's about what the prices, and it will go off, do that Google search, and then deliver, the reviews and all that sort of stuff back to you, which is great. But then that would also then be a great time for ChatGPT to then go through its ad campaigns and then go, who's selling these TVs?
yeah,
Who's got an ad for that TV or something similar? And then
yeah,
at the end of the conversation, it'll then go, well, here's, 5 ads at the end of the response. And you could
mm,
go, I like the sounds of that. I like the reviews. There's a button there to go and buy it. I'll click it. And then
yeah,
off you go and you go and purchase.
yeah.
So yeah, that's
So do you
really
think
cool.
it's only going to be like if you're searching for a particular product or service, or do you think, well, you're interested in this, so I'm now going to show you this?
It should, according to OpenAI, it should just deliver what you're talking about in that conversation. It shouldn't then think, oh, well, Noel clicked on this last time. I'm just going to show him an ad for that in a different
Yeah.
conversation. It
So,
shouldn't
so,
do that.
so for example, like if you're searching for TVs, you might then get an ad from a furniture company selling you like a TV stand.
You could do. It depends if you ask for it. I mean, they're very strict in saying, look, it's only going to be what you're talking about. So if you're not talking about the furniture, then it probably shouldn't. But that doesn't mean that it won't.
No,
And I
because
guess they need to
it is
test that out.
relevant,
It
isn't
is
it?
relevant, yeah.
Because like if you're, say, I don't know, putting in something, say you want help with your skincare routine, maybe you've got some issues, so then is it then going to show you something that's relevant to that?
It should do, yeah. Yeah. It obviously
So,
all depends if that's available within, if somebody has a relevant ad for
yeah,
that. Because the response, they've also made it quite clear that the response that the model gives isn't going to be based around whatever advertisements are available. So that's
okay,
completely separate. So whatever it advises to do, it will be one thing, and then underneath it would then go, right, okay, well, is there anything in the ads campaigns that we could use? Yes, here they are.
yeah,
If there's nothing, it will show you nothing, I guess.
wow,
But yeah, the response from the LLM, they've made it very clear that that's not going to be pushed in a certain way based on somebody's ad campaign to get you
okay.
to click that button, because that's not good user experience.
No, it's not. So
Hmm.
what does this mean for business owners who are interested? Because obviously we had Milana back on one of our episodes back in season 1 talking all about SEO for AI. So, we were being featured within some of those searches, but I feel like now this has just taken it to another level,
Mm.
hasn't it? It's kind of like the difference between just doing SEO on your website and then actually using like Google Ads.
It is, yeah. It's kind of interesting because with these ads, we don't know how the businesses are going to input the ads. They've made no mention of that, as yet. So what we've been told is to basically think like the user. So what are your customers asking for potentially
Yeah,
to your products and services? So start thinking about that, and then then start thinking about, well, what ads could I run for that particular product or service based on those questions. So I'm guessing they're going to ask you when you create the ad to list kind of like the topics and things that people are asking for in a kind of general sort of way. So yeah, it's interesting. But the big thing for businesses is, if you have like Facebook ads, you're someone's doom scrolling, they've been there for an hour, your ad shows up on their feed, they've got to look at it and go, yes, that's actually interesting, and then go, nah, but I'm not that interested, and keep scrolling. So you've got to make it catchy enough to stop them and get them to click on that ad.
yeah, you've got to have a really good ads campaign.
Definitely, yeah. And they're not primed for purchase. They're coming at the very, very top of your sales funnel. Like they've never heard of you potentially, and
Well,
then
I do all think that's dependent on your ad campaign, because I have
true.
bought some excellent things from ads that I have seen on Facebook and Instagram. I will have you know.
That explains all the packages. TikTok shop is your worst, I have to say.
Yeah, but that's only because it comes in a TikTok bag. You don't know what else I've bought off of Instagram and off of Facebook, because it comes in branded packaging and not like Facebook shop, Instagram shop.
Very true. Yeah. But yeah, go back to it. It's like, they're they're not primed to buy that product. They might look at it and go, that's interesting, click the link, read a bit more, and then go, it's not really for me. Or the end goal is they click and then they go on. So
well,
with
it's all based on previous interest or interest that they
yes,
think you might be
it's all
interested
based
in,
on
isn't it?
demographics and stuff, isn't it?
Or things that you've clicked on and like, maybe cookies have followed you and stuff like that.
Maybe your phone's listened to you, who knows?
Yeah.
They always say it doesn't, but
spell break.
yeah. But with ChatGPT ads, the big thing is it's that user is already primed and is already asking questions and looking for that particular service or product. So if your ad does then get shown to them, they're probably, I would say, statistically more likely to click and then go through and purchase than what it would be if you just scroll past on Facebook.
Yeah, the targeting is much better, I think.
Yes.
With the ChatGPT ads.
Yes, because like with ChatGPT ads, you say, it could be targeting like females between 35 and 40. But then if somebody who's 42, they won't get to see it. But if they ask ChatGPT that question, it doesn't care what age they are. It's kind of like they're interested in this topic and product, and then match it with that advertisement, which is really quite clever.
Yeah. What do we think the cost is going to be to run these ads? Have we had any inclination or any hints
Not
thrown
yet.
our way? Okay.
No, they've been quite quiet.
Do you think they're going to be mega?
They could be, but
I think they are. I think they're going to be really expensive to run.
But I think at the same time, if you look back at Facebook and Google, when they started first doing ads...
Oh, cheap as chips.
Exactly. They both were. So
God, those were the days.
So it kind of makes sense that OpenAI would follow that sort of thing to get everybody in, get you excited, have a bit of a discount for the first 6 months or whatever, and then slowly start to creep it up.
Yeah.
And hopefully by then we've already made tens of millions and can afford.
Just be retired. We won't even worry about ads at that point.
Exactly, yeah.
Everyone can come round for a cup of tea, coffee, glass of champagne.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, because I did ask Claude the other week, and I said, how many millionaires did Facebook ads make? And I was kind of doing...
I mean, I know a bunch.
Yeah, but it reckoned it was between 25 and 50,000 millionaires were made.
Oh, I reckon more than that.
Probably, yeah. But
I think that's probably like just in the US.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But when I was asking that question because when ads first released on Facebook, there was only 50 million users a week. So that's a tiny amount compared to the hundreds of millions on ChatGPT. So that's the point where the light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is this is quite something." And then you see everyone on the free accounts in comments going, "Oh, this is terrible." I'm like, "This is brilliant." I could just see opportunities.
Yeah. So what other information do we know about these ads?
So as well as like serving like specific products and services and, click here to, go off and do whatever, they've also shown an option where you could chat with the advertisement. So, which is kind of interesting as well. I kind of like that. So I think the sample that they showed was like almost like a venue that you would hire kind of thing, and then it would give you the advertisement and say, well, look, you could book here, and then underneath that was then like chat with this advertisement, and then you could click on that button, and then you could then in a closed off little space in that chat window, have a conversation and then go, well, how many people could I booking to be at this, venue or whatever. Do you have like IT facilities, or what kind of costs is it? So you could have that conversation first, and then be like, right, okay, this is for me, and then you then click on the button to then go off and contact the business and whatever to book in.
Mm.
So I thought that was really, really interesting. It'd be good to see how that works from an advertiser's perspective, and what you could do with it. Because that's kind of powerful, because you're already kind of qualifying a lead before they've even got to you as well. Kind of, they've already asked those basic questions, and then they're just coming in going, right, well, I'm happy, I know what you do. Here's my money. I want to book in, or buy whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be really exciting, because the amount of things that people use ChatGPT to look up for them, or to like find the best in the area, or to shortlist things, the amount of businesses that it's going to help with these ads is just going to be amazing. I'm really keen to know prices and costs.
yeah, definitely. I mean, they have, the only thing they have mentioned is that some users in the US on the free plan might already be seeing these ads. So it was released the announcement was a couple of weeks ago, and they said, well, within 2 to 4 weeks, we're going to start showing these ads and testing them out, basically. So,
Okay.
I guess once they're happy with that, then they'll start, giving us a bit more information, because, it's
we would like
the
more
owner.
information, please.
Yeah, the onus is on them to get us in there and doing it so they can start earning more money, surely.
Yeah.
But it's got to work first, I guess. First things first.
Okay, so that's really exciting. Yes, and obviously we will keep everyone up to date with ChatGPT ads when we find out more information and things like that, because as you can tell, Noel's quite excited about this topic.
Yeah, and it is a Tuesday, so it might be 6 p.m. after we've finished recording.
Excellent.
They might release it. They've got a habit of that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay. So what else did you want to discuss today, Noel, on this episode about OpenAI?
So I guess kind of from like a business perspective, I've seen quite a lot of content talking about the state of the finances for OpenAI. And there's a lot of really big investors, that have invested in startups for decades. And they're kind of looking at OpenAI and seeing some red flags and warnings. And, that OpenAI's got to build the data centers and all the infrastructure. They've got to, buy all the bits and, create all the models and all the software engineering that goes into it. And, the expenditure currently is exceeding the income by some margin, apparently.
Right.
So there's some worrying signs there. But with things like ads, obviously that's going to help boost their revenues, which is good. But it's also kind of interesting because we've kind of seen a bit of a downgrade in ChatGPT in like the last 6 or so months. And when you kind of look at everything in a big picture, it kind of makes sense. And Sam Altman did a town hall live stream yesterday where there was like technical founders and things like in the room asking him questions. And one of the questions was, why are these models kind of getting a bit dumber when it comes to written content?
Yeah, definitely. And I found that.
Yeah, and he was quite honest and open about answering that question. And he was like, well, we kind of didn't bother because we didn't have the time or the money to go off and, do that sort of thing. So, we prioritize software engineering and technical ability over its written content. So when we moved from GPT 4.5 to 5, everyone was like, well, this is rubbish. you know, now you're creating social media posts that make no sense, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's not very clever anymore, and then we're going back to previous models to get that sort of content back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting when you look at it from a business perspective as to how this machine is working. And yeah, it's really, really quite interesting. But
yeah, so we were, I think, having this conversation actually on last week's podcast about actually how ChatGPT is getting a bit forgetful and it's, diluting itself when you're asking it questions on the same chat and you're like, trying to give it more instructions and then it's almost forgetting what you've previously said. And I am finding that more and more and more at the moment. So yeah, it's kind of really interesting that they've now come out and said that because we've obviously seen it for the last couple of weeks that ChatGPT has completely changed its behavior and it's not as strong as it once was.
yeah,
So do you
definitely.
think that's going to now turn a lot of people off of ChatGPT and like now head over to like LLMs like Claude instead?
It's already happening and has been happening for a little while, I think. So a lot of paid users are kind of looking at what other things are available
Yeah.
and thinking, why would I argue with a large language model like ChatGPT to get what I want when, I could just put the same thing in Claude and it'd be like, yeah, sure, here you go. I'll understand what you're talking about and previous conversation histories. I find that's really good in Claude and, serve you the answers that you need. So, yeah, the people I've been speaking to have already shifted away from ChatGPT, and they kind of just use it as on a free account just to do like really mundane little tasks kind of thing, nothing business related, which I thought was really
like
interesting.
writing that car ad or
yeah, just silly little thing like
comparing spa breaks.
yeah, exactly, yeah, it's quite good at that, but
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that shift is happening, and I think the people that are kind of moving away from it now are the ones that have probably signed up to it from day one, like we did, and we just kind of got to a point where it's like, what's the why am I arguing all the time with it? It's not understanding basic instructions. Like this isn't.
It's so frustrating.
It is, yeah. And they kind of talked about the memory thing as well yesterday on the town hall with Sam Altman, and they basically someone was like, it just doesn't remember as well as it used to, and they were like, well, we are trying to fix that. We want that to be better. We want it to basically understand you fully, so it can offer answers that are a bit more personalized. So they want to go down that personalization route, but they kind of know at the same time that coding and things like that is earning them quite a bit more money, I guess, from the API perspective. So they've kind of moved their model from being like a generic good at everything to being really good at one thing and then not so good at everything else. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, they do want to make more generalized and a lot better models, but I guess we'll have to wait and see when they come out and see what it looks like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else was said in the town hall yesterday with OpenAI, or is there any other updates that you want to tell us about?
So I guess a lot of the town hall was all software related, really. There was a lot of CTOs. There was somebody asking actually about a bit slightly off topic, but they were asking about biosecurity. And it was
we're not going to go down that route.
No, but they were like.
So I'm not surprised now that there was that lady at the back asleep, if I'm honest.
Yes. Yeah, 19 minutes in, she's slumped.
Yeah, I mean, same girl, same. If they're talking about that sort of stuff, I'm with her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
tell you one good question that came up right at the end was there was a guy was like, well, his customers are kind of asking for like where you would sign up for a service and it'd have like login with Facebook, login
yeah.
with whatever Apple. So they were kind of like, could we have like a sign in with ChatGPT, and then their personal I guess kind of like their personal traits comes over, or they would share like their developer API keys with that particular supplier. So, the person providing a web app wouldn't have to have an OpenAI account. They would just rely on the user using the tokens from their account instead, which I thought was quite interesting. But yeah, Sam
Mm.
Altman seemed to think that was a good idea as well. So I
Oh,
don't know.
right, okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the one thing he kept asking was, if you've got any ideas, just let us know and we'll try and build it.
Oh, right,
It's,
okay.
yeah, it's like, well,
Open
have you run out of ideas?
open to feedback. Well, I think at
Yeah.
this moment, like you said, if they're not bringing in the income that they want, they obviously have this need to keep people on
Mm,
ChatGPT. So therefore, if there's any updates or new features that people want, and actually they're not very expensive, but they're going to keep customers,
mm,
then they're going to try everything in their power to do that,
mm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
rather
Especially,
than people, leave and use other LLMs, which I guess
mm,
they are going to worry about, especially if they've got these ads starting.
mm,
They don't want 800 million followers, and then because they haven't been able to keep up with the strengths of ChatGPT,
mm,
tons of people go, actually, I'm going to now move over to Claude.
mm.
It doesn't look good, does it, from an ads perspective? And people aren't going to
No,
pay as much money for the ads if there's not as many
mm.
people using it.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think 2026 will make or break OpenAI. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year for them. That's for sure.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah.
looking forward to digging more into the ads and seeing where that goes.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely keep everyone updated. And
Mm,
obviously, as the ads do come out, then we will add tutorials and information into our membership AI Business Club over on the school platform. So if you want to come and join us, we will leave the link below for you, where we go through step-by-step AI automations, prompt engineering, all of that good stuff. You've got Noel in
mm,
there. He's there to ask questions, get support, get help as well. So yeah, and it's a really lovely community where beginners are completely welcome.
absolutely.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we will catch you for another episode very soon.